Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Also a warm welcome if you're returning or if you're new. Thank you for supporting the channel. However, before I even start off with this video, I would like to say that I'm sorry and I apologize for not being as active this week as I've normally been. And that's because for the past month now, I've been going at YouTube, going crazy, trying to up the algorithm, trying to do my best to have my videos perform well. And so far, yes, they have. If you saw my last video, if you supported that last video as well, thank you, by the way, because it did numbers. It's honestly my best performing video so far. And I hope to continue to see this success further down the road. And I hope to continue to have you guys support my channel further down the road. And I thank you all for your support. But also, I'd like to announce that because that video also did well, it not only broke a couple of goals that I had set for my channel a while back before I even started, but it also shows that one, I'm doing a good job, and two, I have your support. And because of that, I'm doing another giveaway, and not just one, but two, because like I stated earlier, it broke multiple goals that I set for myself early on before I got onto YouTube. So one of those goals was hitting 500 views in a video, which this video did. But not only that, it also hit 1,000 views in a video. So yes, a round of applause. And thank you all for being the best that you could possibly be in supporting me and this channel, because there's more good stuff to come. And as long as you stick it out and ride with me, I'm gonna ride with y'all. And there'll be more giveaways like this in the future as well. But yeah, back to the focus of this video. So I know it's been a while. You see me play everything else but what I started off on this channel with, which is Speedstorm. But I'm happy to say today, this video I got for you is, yes, Speedstorm. Disney Speedstorm, for anyone who doesn't know. What I got for you guys today is something different, obviously, because every video is different for the most part. I'd like to talk about, well, the title of this video, as you can obviously see, that's why you clicked here. I'd like to talk about what to expect in the future for Disney Speedstorm. And what I mean by that is, like, further down the line, season 8, 9, 10, whatever, even past that, 11, 12, whatever. As well as I have specific topics that I have down here that I wrote down in my notes that I want to cover. So the first thing we're going to cover is the content roadmap. So a couple of days back, Disney Speedstorm, or the team at Disney Speedstorm, had posted in the official Discord the content roadmap for future seasons. And those seasons are season 8, which is early this summer, is going to be Inside Out. Later in the summer, season 9, technically, is going to be a revisit to Pirates of the Caribbean. And season 10, early fall, is going to be Nightmare Before Christmas. Cool. I have no problems with that. I actually, from what I saw from this content roadmap, the one takeaway I liked about this was the fact that they're going to revisit past, I would say, seasons, but technically not, because Pirates of the Caribbean was in the game, in the base game, even when it was in early access. So I like the fact that they're gonna revisit past base game seasons and add on to them. So like how they did when I first got here in free to play, how they added Hades into the Hercules collection, even though it wasn't a full-fledged season, it was a mid-season racer, like a mid-season racer that was added in to the game. They always do that for every season. But now that they're going back and revisiting these collections or chapters, it would be nice to see Walt Disney get some love, because I'm tired of Figment being the only character there. The elephant in the room. I would love for them to add more Oswald and the Lucky Rabbit characters, because just having two is kind of if you catch my drift. Maybe you can add more Hercules characters. I don't know how far you can go with that, but we'll see. A couple more Mulan characters. Like, they could definitely go down that route. There's some characters that haven't been touched in that collection, which would be a nice addition. And yeah, furthermore, I'm gonna go deeper into this section, the content roadmap. So obviously season 8, Inside Out. Never watched this movie, so I had to go to outside resources to get the knowledge and information to bring it back to you guys for this video. So Inside Out season 8. Who can we expect to be the main races for this season? And just a side note here, for the most part, all these seasons that I'm going to be covering for the content roadmap section of this video, I only have about 2 to 3 racers in these seasons, only because, and I'm going to explain right now actually, since I'm already on this topic here, only because I feel that the way that Speedstorm is heading, or the direction that they're heading in right now, I don't think we're going to be getting the same 4 to 5 races that we've been getting every season. Like, if you've been around this season alone, you notice that in this season, the first season, where pretty much you're not going to have the ability to own the battle pass for free if you just started this game today, which is May 17th. My thing is, you have some characters that have been out, such as Fix-It Felix, Sergeant Calhoun, and I'll get to her later on in the video, as well as King Candy. And these characters released into this season without voice lines. Yeah. Nickelodeon kart racers all over again, right? And the only 2 characters that have voice lines are Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph, the 2 headline characters for this season and in the movies. Cool, great. However, it cheapens the game, like I explained in my last video talking about this, and it also sets a precedence on what we can expect coming to the future of the game. If you're going to do this for this season, why shouldn't we expect you to be doing this further down the line for every other season, right? Season 8, 9, 10, and whatever, if the game lasts that long. My thing is, yes, they came out with news saying that, okay, I guess since I'm already on this topic, I guess I don't have to talk about this later in the video. This is going to be its own segment, but whatever, we're already here. So, you know, open the can of worms. Let's just deal with it. Yes, they mentioned in a recent community pit stop that Sergeant Calhoun was going to get voice lines sometime in season 8, which is cool. But I guess it's better late than never. However, is Felix still going to get voice lines, or is he still going to be mute? Same thing with King Candy. Is he going to get voice lines, or is he still going to be mute? Or now do we have to think that, okay, if characters don't release with voice lines when they come out initially in their chapter or their season, are they going to have a delayed period of time where they do get voice lines like Sergeant Calhoun? So are we going to have to wait 1 or 2 seasons before they are finally able to talk? So I don't know what they're trying to do here, and I don't know the path that they're trying to take here, but whatever. I don't work at Gameloft, and at the end of the day, like I said, previous videos, I don't play this game that much to really care what they're gonna do with this game next, because this doesn't really affect me anymore. I've come to the realization, and I've come to a place where it's just like, it's almost like, and I don't even want to say it, it's almost like when Poppin said a couple videos back or a couple months back that it's gotten to the point where he's had so much to say about this game where the devs could have took the time to listen to him and make changes, and they didn't, to the point where they've gone down this hole, or they've dug themselves in a hole where even when he's given them rope to climb out of the hole, they continue to dig and they don't even look in his direction. And I mean that in a sense where they just do things and they don't care about the backlash unless it's too much of a backlash. So what we saw when they released the community pit stop last season, just before season 7, and told us we will no longer be able to get battle passes for free. And then because the backlash was so great, they had to somewhat half walk back that statement and then say, oh, no, you'll still be able to um, obtain the battle passes as long as you exchange your tokens for golden pass credits, but you have until May 16th, which is half the season of season 7 to do so. Then after that, you can no longer do that and you'll no longer be able to get the golden pass for free. So like I said earlier on in this video, if you just started playing this game today, which is May 16th, sorry, but you missed the cutoff and you can no longer get the battle pass for free. You're gonna have to open that wallet and say piggy bank, piggy bank, piggy bank, because they got your money now. However, to stay on top of this point, like I was saying, because they're giving Sergeant Calhoun her voice lines in season 8, which is next season, we still don't even have any news if King Candy's gonna get his voice lines or Fix It Felix gonna get his voice lines. So that makes me think that either one, they're not gonna get their voice lines, or two, they're gonna get their voice lines somewhere later down the line in the future, but most likely not season 8 unless it's been confirmed. My guess is probably season 9. And if that's the case, then you can bet your bottom dollar they'll probably do this for every other season. But that harpens on to my point that I was stating earlier on. Sorry, which is that I think from season 8 onwards, we're gonna have less characters in these chapters. And to go even further, like I was saying, with Inside Out for season 8, from what I heard from my outside sources, again, never watched this movie, so I had to rely on outside sources to confirm which characters would most likely be the races for this season. And from what I've been told, we can most likely see Bing Bong as a racer, Joy, and Sadness. I don't know if any of these were the main villain of that movie. However, if they were to add a 4th racer and one of these 3 names that I've just mentioned before was not a villain, you can bet your bottom dollar that that person who was the main villain in that movie will be added as the 4th racer. Right? Easy to understand? Easy to follow? Okay, great, cool. Moving on. Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, if you don't know already, I am Jamaican, so, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean. Love that movie franchise, that series. However, the 3 possible races I think they'll add into this collection will be Will Turner. He's not even a crew member at this point, so it's probably the most likely addition that's gonna happen for Pirates of the Caribbean collection, as well as possibly Barbossa. He is not even a crew addition or a crew member in this chapter as well. So I can see him being an addition for this chapter as well. And for the antagonist for this chapter, because almost every chapter has an antagonist, I believe they'll most likely use Davy Jones, because in the entire series so far, I would like to say the best villain that they've had for a movie in the franchise would be Davy Jones. He was menacing, he was intense, he caused the audience to be fearful and to wonder how their heroes would fare against him, and rightfully so. As we saw in the second movie, we were all scared for Jack. But yeah, moving on. So that's a wrap for season 8 and 9. So season 10, the night before Christmas. So here's my thoughts on the characters that will be added for this chapter. Jack Skellington, of course, obviously. Sally, of course, obviously. And then the antagonist for this chapter, Doogie Boogeyman. It's so obvious that they're gonna go down this route that we didn't even have to take a look at this, to be honest. However, like I said before, I think with the state of the voice line situation, starting from or stemming from season 7, I do think we're gonna have less main racers for each chapter. So like I said, instead of 4 to 5, expect maybe 3 to 4, and at best 4, but you know, minimum 3 at least, right? Okay. And Like I said, season 8 will be early summer, season 9 would be late summer, and season 10 would be early fall. And that concludes this whole segment on the content roadmap. Okay, so moving on. What do we have next? We have the major fixes that they talked about during the last community pit stop. So, like I said, the first big one that I covered just a while ago was Sergeant Calhoun getting voice lines in season 8. Don't have to go any further into that. And a couple other issues that they fixed, which is great, was that they fixed issues with crew stars not showing how many were needed to star up said crew member, which was, oh my gosh, such an inconvenience because you had that throughout most of this game, I could say, because I joined from free to play, which is season 4, the Aladdin season. And for the most part, that was something that was in the game. It was only till this season that I was unable to see how many crew charges I needed to level up crew members. And I was like, what's going on? Like, you're already monetizing the heck out of this game. And now you mean to tell me I can't even see my progression on certain crew members or even racers themselves? Like, what are we doing here, Gameloft? We're taking steps back, not forward. So I'm glad they fixed that. And it's been added into the game since the last update, which was earlier this week. Another thing they fixed, which won't really matter, like I said, if you started playing this game today, because you won't have this currency available to you at all at any point in this game anymore. So to those who have Golden Pass credits, you will now be able to see your Golden Pass credits in the Golden Pass section of the menu. So if you go to the Golden Pass, you'll be able to see the top right corner of your screen, all your currency, and to the far left of the currency on the right side of the screen, you'll be able to see how many Golden Pass tokens or credits you have readily available to you at your disposal. So that's great because we never had that before. Or no, we had that before, but it disappeared. I don't know why. Same thing with the crew shard and racer shards thing. I don't know what happened in that update for season 7, but it's almost like they updated the game and deleted a couple things, and then they realized and they had to add it back. I don't know what the heck happened there, but I'm glad we got it back because now we can see how many tokens or credits we have available to use at our disposal to obtain other golden passes further down the line in the future, like season 8, season 9, season 10, because you know that's going to be 6 golden pass credits you're gonna have to use in total, which is 2 per season now instead of just using 1, right? Because now there's 2 parts of a season that I covered in one of my earliest videos on this topic. Okay, moving on. My thoughts on what to expect in the future of this game. So I covered this briefly with the fact that I said in future seasons we're gonna have less racers because they're already giving us less voice lines. So I don't see a reason for them to go out of their way and give us more characters if we're already complaining about them not having voice lines. Let's be real here, right? And if that stems from them not making enough money, then why not save some extra resources and some money by not having to waste time on characters that we know aren't going to get voice lines anyways? Just turn them into crew members, right? With that being said, that is not something that's set in stone. That's just my opinion. So don't take what I say and think it's the end all be all. Take what I say with a grain of salt. It's just a prediction of mine, but on this channel lately, I've been pretty good at predictions. So I don't know what to tell you there. However, moving on. So my thoughts on what to expect in the future. Not much will change for this game, to be honest. What we see now for season 7 is setting a precedence what we'll see for future seasons later down the line. Like I said, if we don't have voice lines for more than half the characters in this season, we can expect that next season will be the same thing. If next season only has 3 to 4 racers, you can bet that probably 3 or 2 characters might have voice lines. That's fair to say, right? Come on, we all have brains here. Common sense would tell us if they gave us 2 characters with voice lines out of 5, we can most likely expect the same kind of trend for next season. Sad to say, but yes, this is this is akin to Nickelodeon car racers. Like, What are we doing here, Game Loft? Come on, gotta do better.
Why? 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 Why?
From that point, I want to say every season down the line will be like season 7. So again, season 8, 9, 10 that we know that's planned for the roadmap will most likely be like season 7. So starting this season, we had 2 parts to the battle pass or the golden pass, and season 8, 9, and 10 will continue to follow that trend. So season 8 will have a part 1, part 2, season 9, part 1, part 2, season 10, part 1, part 2. Unless anything changes in a future community pit stop down the road, I foresee this being the new way that they operate this game. On top of that, like I just stated earlier a while ago, we will most likely have less voice lines for characters because, as it was stated in season 7, we had 40% of the characters have voice lines and the other 60% not. So it's safe to say that next season half the characters will have voice lines and the other half will not, and it will further trickle down into future seasons unless they do the same thing that they did with Sergeant Calhoun and later on give us those voice lines for certain characters that we didn't have voice lines for. But as I stated before, they'll most likely make less characters because they know already ahead of time that these characters won't have voice lines, so they're going to give us less racers. And if we do get those characters voice lines further down the line, it's because they already came to the conclusion that yes, out of the 4 races in this collection, 3 or 2 might have voice lines, but the other 2 might get them 2 seasons down the line, which is delayed. We're still going to get them, but it's going to come at a later date. And at that point, we're probably going to forget. We're probably not going to care. I know you guys will care. I know some of you are still upset about this and talking about this in the Discord. However, I don't think they care. And the most they'll do is add in voice lines later down the line, as we can see with Sergeant Calhoun. Still, they never confirmed with Felix or King Candy that they'll be getting voice lines. Remember that. I think the racers who will be getting voice lines are the ones who are the ones tied behind the Golden Pass, of course. That's why Calhoun has to get voice lines down, because it doesn't make sense that you pay for a battle pass or a golden pass for a premium character or premium items, and that said character doesn't even come with voice lines. Come on now. So I think the most likely racers that will get voice lines are the epic racers, which are the ones tied behind the golden pass, and the one racer that will show up during the season tour. Most likely, I think, but don't quote me on that. It'll most likely be the epic racers, but as we've seen this season, you know, there's already an epic racer without voice lines, but they ramified that situation already, so we won't talk too much about that anymore. So moving on from that, like I explained, well, I'm just going through my points like a breeze. So yeah, less characters per season per collection, so from 4 to 5 to about 2 to 3. But like I stated, I don't think it'll be 2 to 3. It'll most likely be 3 minimum, 4 maximum. And the ones who get voice lines are going to be the ones tied specifically behind the golden passes, so part 1 and part 2 of each season. So moving on from that, yes, a new section. We're going to be talking about tournament mode and what my thoughts will be about tournament mode moving on. So this is a big chunk of the video, and I don't think I'm going to be talking about that as much because the other parts I have to go more in depth about what I was thinking or what my thoughts were on the process of them doing certain things with the golden pass or certain characters for different collections or chapters, whatever. But the tournament mode, self-explanatory, don't really have to go into depth, so this is what I got in mind. So for tournament mode, most players coming into this game who are new, so like starting today or whatever the case may be, most players will be spending most of their time obviously in the season tour, because that's the bread and butter of this game for single player, but also tournament mode. And I'll tell you why. Tournament mode is now a staple in this game for new players because they don't have any racers. And the best way to get racers in this game is, 1, to play the season tour, grind out that season tour mode, and get some currency that you can use the universal box to open these uh, racer shards and start collecting that way, or opening the daily box. But also, another way to do this as well is to now grind out tournament mode. And because it doesn't matter for new racers, in the sense that they cannot really go out of their way to get the battle pass for free, the golden pass for free, so they're going to be missing out on shards regardless. They'll be paying for vault passes as well to catch up in this game. So that is my main reason for saying this. So for new players coming into this game, starting today and further down the line, season 8 or whatever, they will have to pay for golden passes to stay afloat for that season, 1. And 2, in order to catch up and obtain characters that they missed out on. This is excluding mid-season races, of course, because they didn't come with their own season. They'll be paying for vault passes. So like I stated in my last video where I covered this topic, they'll be paying, if you live in Canada, you'll be paying somewhere around $92 Canadian just to catch up. Good luck with that. Piggy bank, piggy bank, piggy bank. They got your money now. Okay. Aside from that, I guess what we can expect in the future seasons would be, so I believe season 4, 5, and 6, because right now for the tournament mode, what we have available to us is season 1, which was Unafraid, Monsters Inc. Season 2, Toy Story, Infinity and Beyond. I think that's what it's called. And in season 3, Ohana, which will probably be readily available for us sometime later this season. But as I was saying, I expect seasons 4, 5, and 6, which is Aladdin, Frozen, and The Little Mermaid, to be added in the tournament mode for season 8. But there's a caveat to this. We'll only be able to have access to season 3 and 4 during season 8. So yeah, Lilo and Stitch chapter, it's a possibility that we might be able to have access to that chapter, but seeing how they just recently gave us access to this Toy Story chapter, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think so. However, because they're doing this in a sense to delay content and give us more content to do during the season, because once we finish the golden passes, we have nothing really to do, and the season tours tied behind that, because we have to wait for certain days until they open. So they gate that away from us to complete content as fast as possible. So tournament mode is a likely place that we'll go and play this game mode. But like I said, this doesn't benefit anyone that's been here for a long period of time, such as early access, or people who pay for this game, in a sense where they'll pay for anything in this game, or people who have just earned everything up until now. So this doesn't really benefit us. So like I said, the people who are benefiting from tournament mode the most are new players, because they have nothing. So they will gatekeep away that content and lock it until different parts of seasons arrive. So like I was saying, with season 9, we'll be getting seasons 7 and 8 added to tournament mode, but we'll probably only have access to 6 and 7. So like I was saying, with season 7 right now, we may or may not see season 3 open up. And if we do see season 3 open up, for season 8, we'll see season 4 and 5 for tournament mode. However, if season 3 doesn't open up, we'll be seeing seasons 3 and 4 open up, and possibly 5. And for season 9, we will be seeing, like I said, seasons 6 and 7, but possibly 5 as well. So what I'm saying here, if you've been able to follow along, I know it's a lot, we'll most likely be getting 2 to 3 seasons in the tournament mode for every season that comes down the line. So for season 8, we'll most likely see either 2 or 3 seasons that we have access to. Season 9 will probably have around the same 2 or 3 seasons we'll have access to, and season 10, 2 or 3 seasons we'll have access to, if that makes sense. So finally, for season 10, season 9 will be added, along with access to chapters or seasons 8 and 9, obviously, most likely. And for future purposes, like season 11, although that hasn't been talked about in the content roadmap, what my thoughts on season 11 will be, they'll add just the last season to that tournament mode, so the previous season. So after concluding season 10, and we've done up to season 9 in the tournament mode, when season 11 shows its face, for tournament mode, we'll have access to season 10 for that entire season, and that's it. And maybe, I don't know, like I said, maybe they'll revisit mid-season races chapters and add that into tournament modes. I don't know how plausible that is. That's just my guess right now. That is something I just thought about right now and added to this video. But moving on. So for the next part of this video, I want to cover chapters and even mid-season chapters. I know I've done this a bit briefly, but I'll go into more depth about this. I think that base game seasons such as Pirates of the Caribbean, like we're seeing right now, will be getting additional characters and tracks like season 9. So as I explained earlier in this video, the first topic, that Pirates of the Caribbean is getting revisited for season 9. And I explained that we'll be getting most likely racers who are going to be Will Turner, Captain Barbosa, and Captain Davy Jones. I think this will be revisited for other chapters or base games collections, such as Jungle Book, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, maybe Mickey Mouse and Friends, or Mickey and Friends, sorry, Hercules, Mulan, chapters like that, where they can go back and revisit because there's only 2 characters or 3 racers in those chapters, especially Beauty and the Beast. I don't know, but we'll see, right? And I think mid-season collections will also see the same treatment. So like I said, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Wall-E, what else did we get for mid-season chapters? Dang, was that it? I guess that's it, right? That's crazy. I thought we had more mid-season chapters or collections, but I guess that might be it. And I think most likely we'll see more Walt Disney characters because, like I said, we can't have Figment be the only Walt Disney character. Like, come on, man. Gotta get this guy some help. So that is a small segment of this video. And my favorite part of this video now is covering possible seasons after season 10. So possible collections or chapters we can see in this game. So obviously, we have some leaks, and I was gonna cover that after covering the possible chapters, but because I already mentioned it, silly me, I can talk about that right now. So mid-season collections most likely will be the Muppets because that's been leaked. However, if we go further down the rabbit hole, I also think they'll add Cinderella because they have Beauty and the Beast. They just add a Little Mermaid. So if they go down the princess route, I can see them adding Cinderella because honestly, I thought she would have been one of the first base characters in this game, but she wasn't. Pocahontas, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Rapunzel. So those are mid-season collections I believe they can add in future possible seasons down the line. However, just take that with a grain of salt. This is not 100% confirmed. These are just my opinions. So we don't know. However, my intuition has been pretty correct since I started posting videos on Disney's Speedstorm. So I don't know if you can really take this with a grain of salt, but it's highly possible that we'll be seeing these collections further down the line because they are staples in the Disney franchise. So we'll most likely see these characters and collections most likely in the future. But yeah, for possible seasons, I can see them adding full-fledged seasons that have golden passes, part 1 and 2. I know. I can see them adding Tarzan. That would be a lovely addition. So you'll have Tarzan, Jane, and man, I forgot his name. The antagonist in the movies, the Hunter. So I think they'll add those 3 characters. For the Incredibles, that's a tricky situation because, like I said, I don't think they'll be adding 5 characters again. And if they do, some of these characters won't get voice lines. Um, Crazy to think, but yeah, The Incredibles is kind of nuts because I don't know. We can. It's honestly a sticky situation because there's a lot of great characters in this franchise that a lot of people would want to see as a racer. Like if we just talk about the family, I can see every one of the family members being a racer. But if we're not just talking about the family, I think Frozone, a fan favorite, would most likely be a racer as well. Although we have a character like him in the game, which is Elsa, but I think they could do a little bit of something different with Frozone. I don't know. We'll have to see. But with the Incredibles, like I said, it's a bit hard. I can see Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Frozone. Man, it's tough. It's honestly tough. You can, any way you look at this, you're not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it can go down in any way you think it would go down, to be honest with you, because there's so many characters and possible races that they could be using for these characters. And honestly, some of these characters that I mentioned could also be crew members or crew sharks, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, Incredibles, I would like to go in depth about that, talk about which characters would be the main races, but honestly, I'd be here probably for the entire video, and we got more to cover, right?
One eternity later.
So moving on, Atlantis. This is an obvious one, but this is one of my favorite franchises, and I could possibly see this being a future season down the line. I could also see Peter Pan, which would be lovely for season not 12, season 11. I could see that being a possibility. Another possibility I could see is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, that's a good story. But I can also see this the Hunchback of Notre Dame as being a mid-season collection with its own track. Cause why not? That movie was a sight to see, honestly. Gargoyles, that might be a mid-season chapter. Pleasure, jeez.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Treasure Planet, I could see being a whole chapter for itself, but I can also see that being a mid-season chapter as well. However, if they do make that a chapter for itself, the same treatment with that we got with the Little Mermaid, where they had underwater sections, I could see this going down the line of something like Mario Kart, where we have our carts turn into ships and we're racing in low gravity. That would be insane. However, moving on, the last chapter I could see them, or chapter or collection I could see them adding to the game. I don't mean the last ever chapter adding to the game, but another chapter that they'll add to the game is Marvel Comics characters. So like the Avengers, the X-Men, maybe possibly Spider-Man as a mid-season racer. If you're a big Marvel fan, this is for you. You can go down the rabbit hole and list the whole slew of characters, because literally there's tons of IP and characters that are readily available to Disney to use at their disposal. So if Gameloft wanted to do a Marvel's collection chapter, they certainly can, because you can go possibly in any direction with this, because there's many characters available to use. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, so on, you name it. But with concluding with Marvel Comics, we've reached the end of this video, and those are my thoughts on what to expect with Disney Speedstorm in the future. And honestly, like I said, take it all with a grain of salt, because this is not 100% confirmed or confirmed at all. Some things may come to fruition, because like I said, my intuition is great. I'm not a superhero, I promise. I know I covered the Marvel Comics section as a collection, but they will not add me in the game. I repeat, I will not be in this game, only unless I'm playing it. But yes, my intuition has been pretty spot on so far. But, be optimistic, because I know it's been hard to be optimistic about this game recently. And I have another video to cover on certain things regarding part 2 of this season. And we'll get into that. We'll do a deep dive. However, like I said, this is the conclusion of this video. And I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by and saying hello and catching up with me and going down the rabbit hole with me and just discussing what we could possibly see unfold in future seasons for this game. If you'd like to talk about this with me, leave a comment down below. I certainly look at everyone's comments, and I do reply to mostly everyone's comments. I don't remember a comment I didn't reply to. And if you hadn't noticed, I like everyone's comment as well. So yeah, I'm very active with my subscribers. So yeah, leave a comment down below if you'd like to discuss this some more with me. I certainly wouldn't mind. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Disney Speedstorm content. And it's been a pleasure. And I'm sorry about the wait, but I'm back. So don't worry, I did not leave. I'm back like I never left. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.